Okay, here we are. We're laying in bed. There's something in the bed. Here, what is this? Piece of plastic. Oh! Okay, I'm Lance,
I'm Bonnie.
and waited until the last second to do the show for the week. Oh, let's see. I had a really good nap a little while ago. Woke up feeling better.
I made you your favorite soup today, didn't I?
I don't know if it's my favorite soup, but
But you're very fond of it.
yeah, it's an Indian soup Bonnie created.
It's lovely.
It's a dal, Indian dal.
The secret is the coconut milk. Yeah.
Yeah, she tried to sneak by with less salt in it, but I immediately could tell.
So I had to go and add it back into the pot. I'm low salt. He's high salt.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my god. I need a massage. I need a home traction machine.
What is that device you've always said you wanted to create for your legs for the bed?
You run 2 ropes under the bed. You tie them around your ankles, and then you can pull the ropes at the top
With your hands.
with your
somehow.
hands, and pulls your ankles.
Stretch your body taut.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was a series of books in the late 60s, early 70s called Great Cartoons of the World by somebody called John Bailey. I don't know who he
He was the
was.
editor, but yeah.
But anyway, I bought one. I've ordered one through Amazon, and we stopped by UGA Library, and I checked out some others. I don't know if any of them are duplicates of the one that's coming in the mail. Anyway, been looking at those. Got a book of actually it's a book about the art created for the op-ed page of the New York Times. And the focus is just as much, I mean, it has examples of the art, but the focus is just as much on how the art was created and the decision-making process behind it and all that as it is on the art itself, which is kind of disappointing. And there's no...
You don't have any context, so with the op-ed cartoon you lose a lot of the meaning. You don't know what is going on, and since it covered the 60s into the 2000s, there was a lot of news there that it just went over your head. All the Nixon stuff, of course, everyone knows that, But even some of those, there were some subtle things that I didn't get.
Well, the thing is, it's not really editorial cartoons. It's illustrations meant to go along with op-ed
Whatever the
pieces.
stories
So
were.
a lot of them are just sort of, pictures of Nixon or whoever altered to make him appear evil or devious. But still, some really, really good work. And once again, it makes me think, I should have, when I was in college, I should have studied art. That should have been what I wanted to.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, well, at the time, I wanted to be a writer, and I thought, well, that's the way to do it. Major in English. But
Too many people have too many regrets, in my opinion.
yeah, well, you
Enough
can't.
acceptance of your life and where you're at. That's not an excuse not to strive for something different and something more, but too many people are hung up on the past, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can't change the past, and there's no way that the past will ever be changed. But I can see now basically why things turned out the way they did, or why I did the things I did at the time. Even at the time, I knew I knew my study skills were non-existent, but I didn't care. I felt I had I felt I'd been in prison for too long, and that it was my time to run around with the girls and shoplift and vandalize and take drugs and drink, and I cared about that more than I did studying.
Well, the way we were brought up, that's one of the things that you and I have in common. The rigidity of religion. And being raised in my mother's household, that was particularly strong with my stepfather. And so you and I had something to rebel against of sorts. And we both had younger sisters who didn't do that. They kind of learned from our mistakes of rebellion and how to kind of get along. Whereas you and I were the ones that had to go before, and we pushed the boundaries and probably pushed, I know we did push a lot further than my mother, your parents, would have wanted us to. And when we became parents, it really did affect what decisions we made and how we were going to raise our children. We had boundaries, but we didn't have this big list of the forbidden. We didn't have hard and fast rules. And I think that's where our parenting skills came off better than our parents,
Yeah, well,
we didn't give the kids anything to rebel against, did we?
no. But the thing is, I knew people who they knew what their life trajectory was going to be. They knew that they wanted to have a career with some corporation or series of corporations, and they wanted to make big bucks, and they knew that that's what college was for. I never wanted a career. I never wanted a job. I basically wanted to be a bum. And
I don't see that as the same thing as what I was discussing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying about the importance of college. I really shouldn't have went at all. But
I'm with my father. I think everyone should go to college and get a well-rounded education.
Well, I got nothing out of college.
You didn't have that. You had your parents going, do the hard stuff first, and it completely destroyed your approach to college.
They didn't give a shit about the learning part or the broadening of the mind. To them, college was a piece of paper that you got in order to get some big high-paying job. That's all they knew. Well, I'll tell you something was reinforced to me this past week. My drawing got all what's the word? My drawing ran off the rails over the course of the last week or so, and I finally had to make a rule and write it down. Don't be blown off course by becoming enamored of some other artist and going, oh, I really ought to incorporate what he does into my work. And there was a cartoonist named George Lichtenstein who drew this comic strip called Grin and Bear It, and he had this wonderfully sloppy style of drawing. And I always liked the way he drew, and I was looking at some of his stuff this over the past week or so, and I thought, oh, I need to incorporate that into what I do. And the lesson is you can look at somebody else's work, and you can admire it, and you can let the effects of it soak into you subtly, but to try to suddenly alter what you do once you've matured as an artist and you've developed your style and your technique and your methods, just stick with that. And if you want to make any changes based on somebody else's work, you do it slowly and subtly and very unconsciously. But anyway, last night I got everything back on course. My painting has suffered for the last week or so because I've been so obsessed with getting my drawing in order, back under control. Oh, but what what I was saying about should have majored in art. If you take art, then you're exposed to a lot of different kinds of methods, and I was looking at this New York Times book, and there's so many different things, so many different methods in there. This is the artist Frances Jetter, and she does lino cuts, and they're fantastic. And I need to get a little workspace set up, start doing some lino cuts. Wish I could rip the carpet out of my new studio, so I could spill ink and paint on the floor if I need to.
It's just another layer of insulation. Think about it that way.
If I tear the carpet up, it's really going to be a mess. Yeah. I'd have to lay down.
Lino or something.
Yeah, lay down some kind of hard surface.
Ooh, I put plants on the porch this week. Aren't they pretty?
Yeah, very pretty.
Little Johnny jump ups and tulips. Ooh, I put in basil and peppermint and Sweet William and I forget what else, but it's all lovely. And even Reed, when she came over to visit for a couple minutes today, did notice how pretty they were. And the tulips are beginning to open up. It's going to be gorgeous.
I went out today and took some pictures. We have some ornamental pears in the backyard, and they're in blossom. And I took some photographs up close, so the picture frame is totally filled with blossoms. And we got a pile of scrap metal in the back. I took a picture of that close up.
Where's the scrap metal?
In that little, I think you used to have a compost pit next to the kids' playhouse.
Yeah, there's some scrap metal there?
Yeah.
It's from where you cleared out the burn pile.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that's where it ended up.
Yeah. Oh, God. Jesus, stretch.
We got to get the mower out in the next week or two. I hate to say it.
Mm-hmm.
God. It's been so warm. It got up to like 80 degrees the other day. And then they said they had a blizzard in California.
Mm-hmm.
And negative 30 in Wisconsin. It's been insane. All the different temperature changes. Reed finally told me that she had a $100 electric bill at her little bitty place she has.
Is that a lot?
It's the most she's ever paid for electric, and that was over the cold spell. So, last month we were at 15 degrees and we're already at 80 degrees, But she had a $100 bill. It's the most she's ever paid, had on any bill. And she's had smaller and larger places.
God knows how much she's paying for that cat every month.
Hey, that cat is good therapy. Leave her alone. She loves that cat. And I hope the cat loves her. But they seem to be an apt pair. They both have this, as Reed self-describes, resting bitch face.
Somebody I work with
just look grumpy to me, but they're cute.
Somebody at work described herself that way to me, or I overheard her saying it.
The new person?
No, the person whom I've been estranged from for 6 months now.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
I was about to say something, I forgot. Oh, dear me.
Oh, our children's birthdays are coming up.
Yeah.
They'll be 25 and 27.
Mm-hmm.
Freaked myself out the other day when I realized that Reed's boyfriend is 31. And it just, I don't know, it makes us feel so much older, you know? I mean, we both remember turning 25 and turning 50. And it's just like the years just keep piling on.
Mm-hmm. What kind of mood was she in when she was over today?
Focused, just get in, get out. She was very disappointed when she asked me to help her with the taxes. I use one of the online systems, and the system wanted to charge her for $30 to file her state taxes, and she's like, I'm not doing that. So I had to download some paperwork. I'm just going to have to fill it out for her and take it by next week. So she was really frustrated that she couldn't get everything done, but she wanted to get out the door and go see Andrew and get her weekend started. She was kind of frustrated that we couldn't have done it earlier, but honestly, you and I just needed to catch up on some sleep, and I had a few things to do, and I had made a pot of soup thinking she'd have lunch with us, but no. She was out the door in, I don't know, about an hour's time. It was in and out.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much longer we can continue with these episodes.
Yeah, I agree.
It was fun in the car.
It's different being at home and you don't really have anything scheduled.
Yeah.
Here we are, both laying on the bed, trying not to yawn too much. But it's late, and I'm gonna go to bed and.
Ow.
You okay?
Got a pinch in my wiener.
Oh, stop it!
Sometimes you get weird pains.
You're old. God. Oh.
You know what would have been a good job is to be a regular contributor to New Yorker magazine as a cartoonist. That would be just,
George Booth just died recently, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That's so sad. We'd watched that lovely, was it a New Yorker thing about him? It was really cute, and he's really sweet, and his daughter doted on him, and seemed to have had a really nice life.
Yeah. To live in a brownstone townhouse in New York City. Oh, that'd be great.
What was that one cartoon? Was he the one that did the lesbian thing? Here's your sandwich. Now I'm going to go back to writing my story.
Oh, yeah.
What?
It was this guy sitting on the front porch at this vacation house in front of a typewriter, and his wife is standing beside him holding a plate with a sandwich on it, and she goes, "I've got an idea for a short story for you. How about Gus is a short story writer who spends all his time sitting around trying to think of ideas for short stories, and his wife finally gets so bored that she becomes a lesbo killer nympho whore. Here's your damn sandwich."
He also did the one about they're sitting. Again, it's somebody sitting at a typewriter in the middle of an apartment, and the wife comes in, and the house is just an absolute chaos, and she's like, "What are you writing about?" or something. It's something to the effect of how to be neat and orderly or something. It was really cute. Had to do with organization, but the whole place is a disorganized mess.
I don't remember that one. There's one, I don't know if he did it or if Sam Gross did it, but there's one, this young man is sitting on the stoop of his townhouse, and this pretty girl is walking down the sidewalk in front of him, and from behind him, his grandmother or something goes, "Whistle, stupid!"
Oh God, that's great.
Oh my goodness.
Now, who was the one that used to do those husband and wife cartoons where they're living in decrepit decay in New York City, cold water flat, and it's just one thing put upon the.
Oh, George Price.
What were his?
They were just single panel. That he didn't have a strip.
I know. It's just he always seemed to repeat the same couple though, stuck in some awful flat.
That's the thing. A lot of those gag panel cartoonists, they basically come up with a basic, just handful of faces, and they reuse them over and over.
Yeah. Well, George Booth did that with the fat cats in his.
Yeah. George Lichtenstein is a basic face. George Price, a lot of them simple, and Charles Saxon, a lot of his faces are very basic and simple.
Oh, that Cartoons of the World we got today had one of your favorites about the British aristocrat taking an American Indian around his house.
Yeah, John Grisham was a great cartoonist, great watercolorist. His father was also an artist. And his father went to art school, and he said, John Grisham said that his father's favorite story of being in school was one of his friends was standing in a field painting with watercolors, and this woman came up behind him and watched him paint for a while, and finally went, "And a big, strong man like you."
What the God.
Yeah.
Now, Grisham he did cartoons about class differences, right? Now,
a little bit.
Now, the singer, Vivian Stanchel, was he the one that did the faux aristocrat lifestyle story?
He did this story called it was a radio show called oh God, I can't think of the name of it now. And people talk about it was basically just absurd stories about this
posh upper
rich
crust
family in this ancient house. But people talk about that show as if he made it up on the spot. And I've heard a little bit of it, and there's no way he just made that up out of his head as he's saying it.
Well, it seems to me that some of the Grisham cartoons could have been, used in some of those. Now, what's my favorite song by him about tigers, hunting tigers?
The Bonzo Dog Band did an old 20s song called "Hunting Tigers in India," and it's really, really good.
Of course, the Canyons of Your Mind.
They would scour old thrift stores, charity shops they call them in Britain, and find old 78s with novelty songs on them, and they would learn them and do them.
Hunting tigers out in India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're long overdue for the end of the show. So this has been one of the more boring ones.
I don't know. I think we've done more boring than this. So what's the series called again?
Nothing but worry. You named it. You're the one who thought of the name.
It feels that way some weeks, doesn't it?
Yeah. But you have to put worry out of your mind. You have to put regret out of your mind, and you have to put worry out of your mind.
I don't think I can. I've left behind regret, worry. As long as I'm a mom, I'm gonna be worried, dear. As long as I'm married to you, I'm gonna be worried.
Okay. All right, that's it for this week.
Good night.